And welcome back to the second installment of Philatelic Tidbits, in which I spend a couple of minutes on several different topics rather than devoting the whole program to one topic. To start off with, I'm going to give you a look at a couple of my latest acquisitions to my unusual stamp collection, or as some people call them, novelty stamps. The first one is this one from Spain. It's a €4 stamp that looks more like a postcard. It's made out of cardstock, and it's about as large as a postcard. It's got this complex die cut of a hand holding a magnifying glass, which is actually a magnifying glass, which is magnifies about 10% larger. Not that you're ever going to use it to work on your stamps. And the design is from a painting by the Swiss artist Francois Béraud from 1929 called The Philatelist. And then the second item that I got to show you is this one from Spain. As you recall, 2020 was the 250th birth anniversary of my main man, Ludwig van Beethoven. And Spain issued this souvenir sheet. And it is a souvenir sheet, as there are perfs around the dark portion of the label where the actual stamp can be punched out. And then the outer portion is an actual vinyl record. And it plays an excerpt of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. And unfortunately, I no longer own a turntable, so I cannot demonstrate it for you. Next, we have another record. This one from Switzerland, issued in 2014. This record is mounted on a Swiss Thorns turntable. I used to own a Thorns turntable myself back in the 70s when I was in the Air Force and had nothing better to do with my money than to buy expensive audio equipment. And this record also plays real music. It is the Swiss national anthem. And it too can be punched out to use just the stamp portion on a letter. It came in this sleeve, which on the back has a couple of paragraphs in 4 different languages, just extolling the virtues of vinyl records and talking about how they have gained in popularity over the past several years. So that's the latest for my unusual stamp collection. Let's talk about stamp mounts. Most of you are familiar with Shogart stamp mounts. Those are the split back mounts that have a clear front and a black background, and in which you put your stamp in the lower half and then just flip the other half over it. And now you have a nice secure mount, and the stamps are safe, secure, and don't fall out. However, there are some large size stamps or blocks of stamps or souvenir sheets which require an extra large Shogart strip. Now the problem is, who wants to spend the money for a whole package of strips when you only need it for one stamp? So what I do is I buy a package of the extra large Shogart mounts that are meant for, like, say, souvenir sheets, and you cut it down the middle through the slit in the back, and you wind up with a mount like this that is only sealed on one side. Then, as you can see here, you can just lift up the top sheet and slip your stamp in. Now, as you can probably see, the problem still remains that it is not secure, especially if the stamp has some curl to it. You can see it lifts up the front sheet. And then when you put it in your album and turn the pages, the stamp is liable to move around. So what's the solution? Well, here it is. This is a Hawid glue pen. Hawid, H-A-W-I-D, is another manufacturer of stamp mounts. Unlike the show guard mounts, so they are not split back design. They are, as I just showed you here, open on 3 sides and sealed only on the bottom. And what the Hawid glue pen does, it's actually a misnomer. It's not glue. It is solvent inside here, which dissolves the polystyrene film and then actually welds the front and back pieces together. Now when you look on the Hawid website, their instructions for the glue pen tell you to put a small bead of solvent along the top edge and seal it. Well, I find that to be a waste of solvent. You're going to go through that pen in no time that way. And it's unnecessary to put the bead across the whole top edge. So all you need to do, just very carefully, touch the tip of the pen to the corner of the mount. And I mean just barely touch, because you don't want a pool of solvent getting into your stamp. And you'll understand then why you have to do it with the stamp in the mount, because it's going to be extremely difficult to try to take the stamp in and out after you've already sealed the top edge. And then, as you can see here on the corner, that little dark spot in the center, that dark spot, and on the right corner, the dark spot, that is the bead of solvent that has now welded the mount closed. Like I said, give it a minute to weld and dry, and the result, as you can see, is a solid, secure mount, and the stamps do not fall out. So there you go, the Hawid glue pen. This costs about $6. I paid $18 for 3 of them on eBay. Oops, I shouldn't have said that. Next thing I'd like to talk about is this little item right here. This is a USB microscope. It's the pluggable brand, and it costs about $30 on Amazon. My original intent was to do a full demonstration and review of this item, but I've decided against it now because it's just not worth it. I'll just flat out tell you, don't get this. And the main reason is, well, actually the only reason, because it had decent quality. It's got a built-in light, and it plugs into the USB port of your computer, and you see it on the monitor. The problem is this flexible gooseneck. Now this goes up to 200 times magnification, and the way you get that magnification is by moving the lens closer to the stamp. Now, as you notice, that flexible neck bounces back up. If you're trying to get that close to the stamp, and then you position it there, but you release your finger, and now it springs back up, and the stamp is out of focus. And then if you want to decrease the magnification, you pull the lens away from the stamp, And then the problem is, not only is it, out of focus, which isn't really the problem either, because it focuses easy enough with this collar right here, but the lens has shifted in relation to the position of the stamp. So now you have to jack with the stamp again, trying to get it positioned where you had it before. Now this Ukraine stamp in particular is why I had bought it. I thought it would be a lot quicker and easier to use. These stamps have tiny, tiny micro printing of the date and a Roman numeral 1, 2, or 3 showing which printing of the stamp it is. Well, I can't even read the date on these. They're so small, much less make out the Roman numeral 1, 2, or 3. I thought this would be a handy-dandy gadget to use for that purpose, but as I said, it's just too much of a hassle. I would just recommend against it. If I ever buy another one, the thing to do would be to get one with a solid column with a knob on it. You turn the knob and then it just moves the lens up and down. That way it stays put. You bring it to this position, it's not going to spring up or down. It stays there. And as you do increase your magnification or decrease it, it's still in the same relative position of the stamp. So if the portion of the stamp you're looking for is centered in the picture, as you increase or decrease the magnification, that portion will stay in the center of the picture. So, like I said, for the price, it's good enough quality. However, just this flexible gooseneck is just not the way to go. What am I using instead now? How about this? A $5.99 lighted magnifying glass from Hobby Lobby. You pull it out, and as you can see, it has a little LED light that comes on automatically. It has 20 times magnification, which is plenty good enough to see that this is 2011 Roman numeral 3. I said I bought this at Hobby Lobby. The retail price is $5.99, but every week Hobby Lobby has a new coupon that you can use for 40% off of one item, which puts the cost of that at $3.60. Quite a deal. And speaking of Hobby Lobby, they do have a few other stamp items that every stamp collector needs. They also sell these Vario stock sheets. These are the ones that have a enclosed pocket. That's as opposed to the Hagner style stock sheets that have the pullback cover where you just slip the stamps in and the cover snaps shut over them. Hobby Lobby does not carry those. They carry the Varios with the 3-sided pockets. And also, they carry Lighthouse stock books. They've got 9 rows of pockets with the glassine interleaving. And these are 16 pages, 8 double-sided pages. And like I said, They're what, $16.99, something like that. But with 40% off, they are a pretty good price. And Hobby Lobby is pretty close to me. It's in the same shopping center where we do our grocery shopping at Winco and Costco. So whenever I just need another stock book, I just go down and buy one for 40% off. I don't buy all of my needs at once because you can only use the coupon for one item. So I just make multiple trips. All right, then one more quick item and I'll call it a wrap. My 1-year anniversary on YouTube is coming up, and I first want to thank everybody for their support, encouragement, and for their comments and participation. It's been a lot of fun this past year. And to celebrate and show my appreciation for my audience out there, I'm going to run a giveaway. Maybe 2 giveaways, I don't know. Whatever I can scrounge up out of my box of goodies. I'll have all the details of the giveaway or giveaways in the next episode of TED Talk Stamps coming up on or around February 8th. So please, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button plus the bell icon so you can be notified of that episode when it goes up, so you can learn all the details of the giveaway and not miss out on it. So until then, this is Ted the Talking Stamp Collector wishing you all, once again, happy stamping.